Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. And in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are thrilled to have Nader Dawood, the co-founder and executive trainer of Aspire Training. Nader brings a fascinating mix of expertise in mindset and performance coaching, over 15 years of mentoring and developing individuals to reach their potential, and a passion for helping companies build internal leadership talent through practical, relatable approaches. Based in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, Aspire Training, founded in 2024, is revolutionizing how businesses evaluate, identify, and train leaders to reduce turnover and foster cultures of trust and growth. We'll be exploring his founding story, how his business empowers clients in the leadership development space, and his vision for scaling this impact-driven venture. So, with that being said, let's dive right into it. Nader, welcome to Founders Future.
Well, thank you, and thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely a pleasure and an honor to have you on the show. I mean, an incredible background that you have here, Nader. So looking forward to the conversation. So if we can start at the beginning here, Nader, what specific problem in the leadership development landscape really inspired you to start Aspire Training?
So, just to give you like a backtrack to not the story of the founding itself, but what did we identify the problem was that we were trying to solve? Of course, me and my partner, we work together at one of the mid-sized banks here in Oklahoma. And leadership training has always been our passion, but has always also been our passion towards trying to improve it all the time. But one of the things that we have noticed all the time is that the leadership training was usually built around LMS courses. It's built around certain classes and it's usually collective. The retention part becomes very minimal for some reason. You would see like a lot of great characters, great potential leaders, but then they take minimal things out of the training that they go through, whether it was classes or LMS courses online. And we kept thinking about it. What would be the reason behind this? And that's really what shaped the module behind Aspire, because Aspire training focuses on virtual one-on-one training to increase that level of retention when it comes to leadership training. Another part of what we've seen was really there is a lot of companies out there, including ours at that time, that didn't really have a leadership pipeline full. There is not enough training and development for not just current leaders, but potential ones, the ones that are actually going to fill these positions for you in the future. So we looked at those two things and we were like, you know what? Like, we need to do something about this. When we started in the beginning at our current company, which is the mid-sized bank that I said, or that I told you about, we implemented some of that in the beginning after we formed the company, and that's what inspired the Spire training.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. So I definitely want to get into a bit more of what you're doing there, right? Because you gave us a little bit, but I would love to get into the nuts and bolts of how you're really generating revenue. So as far as the core offer, it sounds like you have those tailored virtual training programs, one-on-one
Yes.
mindset coaching. What are all the core offerings that you have, and who's the ideal client again that you want to work with on these offers?
The ideal client, I will say, because that might be a controversial point, because
Yeah,
if you say everybody is an ideal client,
exactly.
you would be like, oh, you're going crazy right here. Of course, we have an ideal client. I will also say that any company that wants to build a leadership pipeline is our ideal client. Any company that has struggled from high turnover ratios or high cost recruiting leaders from outside is also a potential client for us, because that's what we do. We help companies identify the leadership from within, train them, and fill the leadership pipeline for them. But I'll tell you, it's not the way that we reach out to the clients, but the ideal clients for us are the ones that probably a company that is between 20 and 500 employees, that we can go in, evaluate the current leadership that they have or the current employees that they have, and then build a tailored training module for them. But of course, our module stays the same, which is virtual one-on-one. They gain unlimited access to our trainers per month. And we have three levels for the training. We have the frontline managers, we have the mid-level managers, and we have the executive level managers as well. So they'll get to pick from three different modules for training right there. Depends on which department they would like it to go through, or even the whole company leadership to go through it. We can tailor to any size and to any quantity of leaders or employees.
Amazing. On that front, I would love to hear from you, Nader. What's the mindset and the thought process being co-founder here of scaling Aspire training, scaling this offer? Of course, the one-on-one takes a lot more time, right? So are you implementing anything around group coaching to really scale this offer, or what's your mindset on the scale?
The way that we think about it on how to scale this company is not mainly the training module itself, but I will tell you, since you mentioned group coachings, in the group coachings itself is a good model, but it's not part of our focus that we go through. The reason why, because we have seen and experienced group coachings as well, group trainings in the past. And again, the amount of retention or the percentage of retention itself is not where anyone wants to do it. Is I don't know if you've been through classes like that in the past where you've sat down, the speaker was very engaging, they were outstanding in their way of teaching that topic, whether it was leadership or a different topic. You were very impressed by what they said, but you probably retained one or two things that they have taught that day, maybe not the 10, 12 points that they have been through. The scale model of the one on one is a continuous, ongoing training because the competency itself, when it comes to any leadership skill that you have, it is not like a one and done. If you are strong at something, you need to maintain it. And if you're weak at something, you need to bring it up to a competency level. But let's agree that your weaknesses are your weaknesses and they're going to stay your weaknesses your entire life. They will come to the competent level, yes, but this requires ongoing training. So to scale a model like this, we have to be working with a lot of different companies, not necessarily on a class. We can definitely provide classes, and we do provide classes on a monthly basis, maybe just once a month, but it cannot be the core or the sole module of the company. It has to be a supplemental. The core model is virtual one on one, and the way that we scale it is that we have a lot of companies that we work with.
Amazing. Absolutely incredible. So on that side, then I would love to get into a bit more of the acquisition side as far as what is working best for you on that, being that you guys have been around for a little over a year and a half now. What are you seeing work best for the acquisition and bringing in consistency on the lead? So whether that's ads that you're running successfully, social media that you're using, events, podcast, what are all the channels that you're utilizing and what are some challenges that you're having on having a predictable lead generation system?
Yeah, we are a new company. I will say we were founded in 2024. The
Yep.
concepts that we have is, I can't say it's a new concept, but I will tell you that we definitely right now, what we're looking forward to is to be able to have a lot of clients on our portfolio that we're helping. Where we're finding the most struggle in is because it's a kind of a new module that nobody is used for, is the approach that we take is to try to educate the client first on what I just said right now, which is the retention percentage, the high turnover, the high cost of hiring leaders from outside. But at the same time, this module takes time in order for the client to be educated. So that's one of the challenges that we're facing right now is that, yes, we're talking to a lot of people, but maybe not everybody is still used to it because the idea is not to move along with the market. It's actually to change part of the market to get to a point of it's not like personal coaching. It is one-on-one leadership training, and it takes a long time to build that leadership pipeline. So that's one of the struggles that we're facing right now is that companies are not used to that kind of model that we're providing. The second thing is to actually cast a wide net. That's always something because we're not selling a commodity. We're not, it's not a specific product. It's a tailored product and it's leadership training. So, in order to get something or to get known inside the leadership training circle, is to cast a really wide net. Now, casting a really wide net is challenging as well, and it takes up a lot of resources at the same time. We focus on our LinkedIn, our network events when it comes to marketing, but at the same time, we do mass emailing as well in order to reach as many candidates as we can.
And if you don't mind me asking, how are you obtaining the emails for that mass email marketing that you're doing? Or do you have a funnel that you're capturing those emails? What does that look like to be able
Right. We use a specific software that will funneling this information from, and then we use our emails to reach out to as many people as we can, or to as many companies as we can.
Gotcha. So on that front, have you tried anything around paid ads, Google, LinkedIn, Facebook, and what's that been? And if not, is that something that's urgent to have more predictability in the lead generation for you?
We have not tried ads yet. This is something that we'll probably look towards in the future, maybe the near future, but we have not tried it yet. For when it comes to LinkedIn ads or Google ads or any kind of ads on any other platform, we have considered it in the past, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but now we are trying our approach with reaching a lot of clients or a lot of candidates at the same time first, because really what we want or what we're wishing for is to reach the people that are actually looking for it, but at the same time, try and reach some of the people that don't have an idea about it and maybe would like to learn more about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As far as the sales process goes here, Nader, is this something that you're still running as more of a solopreneur, or do you have a sales team, setters and closers, and a marketing team behind you? What does that look like as far as the process?
We are a team of three. Two
Okay.
of them are executive trainers and owners. So it's a young company, as I mentioned. There's just three of us. We do not have a really large sales team or anything. We are, I guess, the jacks of all trades at this point. We do the sales, we do the marketing, we do the building the training itself, because that's how it started, is us being experts in leadership training, and that's how we built the company. And when you start a company in the beginning, of course, you have no idea about the sales part. You have no idea about the marketing part. You have no idea about anything but the craft itself, which is, in our case, leadership training. We have been getting acclimated and used to these other parts of the craft as well. This is the phase that Aspire Training is in right now.
Amazing. So, with that being said, as far as the timeline and the urgency behind bringing on, now that you know what you have in front of you, the messaging that you want to direct, so maybe implementing those ads, getting higher quality conversations. Are you thinking of bringing on a sales team in the near future here? What's that timeline look like for you to continue to build and scale Aspire Training?
The timeline is between 6 months to a year to be able to have enough contracts and enough clients for us to start scaling our sales team and our marketing team as well. And that's something that me and my partner consistently talk about, is when can we take this to the next level? And yeah, but just since you asked, the answer is between 6 months to a year from now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So on that front, what would you say are some of the bigger bottlenecks that you're thinking about right now that you need to solve? Is it going to be what we just touched on around the predictability in the lead generation, more on the sales side, and as you continue to get more, you can grow that? Or is there anything else on the bottleneck side that you are thinking about right now?
No, that's really it, because of course revenue brings you more investment into the company, right? You want to invest more and more into the company, but you have to start with enough revenue first. And in order for us to get to that point, as I explained, is we need to be able to reach out to a lot of companies. Some of them are looking already for leadership training, but they're not used to the current model. Some of them are not, and we might have to be able to set the brand at a certain level in order for them to get more information about it. But that's really where everything is right now, is for us to be able to scale the idea of Aspire training in it when it comes to leadership training to as many companies as we can. That's what we're focused on right now.
Absolutely incredible. That was you answered the next question for me there because I was going to say, what is really the
Sorry.
goal, right? No, you're good, and I think that's the beauty of it. And I was going to say, what's the goal for you for the rest of this year, going into next year? But I think we got a good picture there. Is really pushing this out, educating, getting the systems in place to really bring in as high quality as you can, and position yourself in front of the right ICP that you want to be in front of. So, I mean, with that there, if we can get a little bit hypothetical here, Nader, and snapped our
Yeah.
fingers and provided you with unlimited resources right now, what is something that you'd be implementing immediately to accelerate the growth of Aspire training?
I would be implementing a very proficient sales strategy and sales team to help scale Aspire and reach out to as many companies and customers as we can. I would be implementing a very intensive marketing campaign or marketing strategy in order to, again, reach as many companies as we can and build the brand for Aspire. And I would also invest some more into hiring more trainers and training them on the Aspire module, because the goal and the idea behind Aspire is to help companies grow from within and save a lot of these extra costs of hiring leaders from outside. So that would be my immediate implementation: sales, marketing, and training.
I love it. I love it. And then, as far as what you see right now in your mind, Nader, as far as the leadership development industry as a whole and its evolution in the coming years, talk to us a bit about what you're seeing there, especially with your practical mindset focused approach. Where do you see it going, and how are you positioning yourself to take advantage of that evolution?
And I'm glad that you really asked that question, because I predicted that, not predicted, but I thought that one of the questions were going to be around AI. So let me say this, since it's the elephant in the room. I'll tell you, with every single leadership training discussion that I've had in the past few weeks, the subject of AI came up. Is how worried are you from AI taking over in the future when it comes to like all of these jobs? And I know, like, I hear a lot of people on podcasts talk about all of these jobs that are going to disappear. Here's my idea when it comes to training, and especially in a leadership one-on-one virtual, just like the one that we have right now. In the future, or the near future, the the leadership training itself has changed from past to present, and it's going to change in the future as well. In the past, it was usually classes, online courses, and I'm not talking the past like 1950s or 60s. I'm talking about the recent past. In the present, it's also similar with some AI integrated subjects that could go into leadership training itself. In the future, you might see things that we really never thought about. What I know for sure is that so far, from my current knowledge and hopefully in the future knowledge, that AI will not replace human emotional intelligence. That's what I'm seeing right now. And the reason why I say this is because if you're interacting with a machine, and that's what I've seen on some of the LMS courses or online courses, at the end of the day, it doesn't feel your feelings. It does not emphasize with you, or empathize with you. Doesn't have sympathy, doesn't understand your current situation. And the ability for another person to have that human connection, to be able to understand you and evaluate your strengths and weaknesses to get you the best training module that you can get. That's what makes leadership training and Aspire very valuable. Am I worried about the future a little bit? Yes, I can't say I'm not. We don't know how far AI is going to get and how amazing it's going to look like. Is it going to be able to mimic the human emotion? I don't know. I'm hoping not, and I'm thinking not, if that's what I can tell.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So with that, I want to take us into the lightning round here and just a couple more questions before we wrap it up. I mean, it's been incredible being able to pick your brain a bit for our listeners today, Nader. So truly
Thank you.
appreciate you coming on the show. So before we wrap it up here, I would love to hear from you about one tool or resource that you're using, Nader, whether it's a mindset reframing technique, a coaching strategy from your past, or an AI tool that you're using. What can you say has been the biggest game changer for Aspire training this far?
The biggest game changer lately, actually, it just happened, which is the use of this software that we were able to get the candidate info from and create our own sequences of our emails that are going to be sent to them, that allowed us to reach a lot more people.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And last, certainly not least here, what is the best piece of advice, Nader, that you can offer to our listeners tuning in right now? Just heard your incredible journey and your story. What can you leave them with before we wrap up the show today?
And are you talking about advice for leaders or advice for anybody?
We could do leaders if you want. There's a lot of founders,
Okay.
entrepreneurs listening.
I I will give an advice for leaders, and this is something that I always lead by and live by as well. Is the true leader is not the one that tells people how to do the job. It's the person that, or the leader is the person that tells people why to do the job. So it's not the how, it's the why. And if you're focused on this, is why you're doing what you're doing, and to help others to understand why they're doing what they're doing, then you'll be able to lead very successful.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. With that, right there, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. And Nader, just want to thank you again for coming on the show, sharing your incredible journey with myself and the listeners today. And it's clear as day with the knowledge, the passion, the drive that you have. You're going to do some incredible things with Aspire Training. So thank you so much again for coming on the show. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, Don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you get your favorite podcasts. And also check out Aspire Training at aspiretrainingllc.com for their leadership development services. And also visit us here at closers.io for more resources and insights where we are dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their growth. Until then, keep climbing, and we will see you on the next one.